understood, how important relationships are, how
Mm-hmm.
important relationships are with not only artists. Like for a decade and some change, I was all pro artist. Hey, I want this money. I want this kind of apartment. And if you got roaches, I ain't taking the gig. And if I ain't got like all these things, if I don't want to work with that singer or that rapper or that drummer, I don't like all of these demands because it's like, hey, you want to book me? This is, but the truth is, it's a symbiotic relationship. People gotta like you. Reputation is everything. And when I start booking artists, it was like, it wasn't just about talent anymore. It was about whether or not I thought that you were a good person, whether or not I wanted you on my roster, whether or not I thought you would be good for other people to be around and a good teammate, whether or not I thought you were bringing drama. And if I never wanted to have the artists in housing, shared housing, because I knew how that could sometimes affect the performance. But that cost me more money. But all of these things I had to take into consideration as to, oh, that's why agents do this. Oh, that's why agents take commission. Oh, that's why agents ask for this up front. And I'm like, damn, like, so I learned to respect both sides more. And before the pandemic, I'm like, I was actually gonna do something like that in Hong Kong, where I was going to be recruiting artists for a company that I was looking for. I think I even asked you about if you wanted to possibly do a gig, but it was
Yeah.
a perfect setup. I was going to be DJing, I was going to be performing, and I was going to be also recruiting and managing artists for another company. But it wasn't in the stars for me, and I was confused for a long time. I'm like, damn, was I wrong? Did my luck just run out, or like, is there something bigger? And let me tell you something. What I got from this pandemic, honestly, was that I was the creator. Like you can sit there and be like, look, all right, I'm gonna trust the universe, but the universe ain't doing it by itself. It ain't just like, all right, now just sit here while I'm magically. No, no, no. You have to talk to it
Mm-hmm.
through your actions, through your desires, through your thoughts. And I'm sitting there waiting because I'm like, all right, well, I ain't caused the pandemic. But at the same time, what I was able to get was to say, on my vision board, I want to have my own record label. I had all these things that I was not going to be able to do if I was constantly chasing that next paycheck, performing gig to gig, unless I put it together.
Right.
The pandemic affected me. I can say this a year and some change later for the better, because I am now that person that I wrote a decade ago that I wanted to be. And it's hard as hell. It's hard as hell starting your own business. It's hard as hell trying to do what it is that I'm trying to do. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but if it was up to me, I still wouldn't be doing it, because I would still be thinking, well, I don't have enough money yet to take time off to work on this, or I don't have enough support yet, or I need to wait until I meet this person because I can't use my own, like all of these conditions. And I'm like, you know what? The world don't give a shit about your timeline. Like, if you got a message that you need to put out there, don't worry about having a budget to afford this, or don't worry about meeting the right person, because it might just take you putting what you have out there to attract the next step for you and somebody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree?
Absolutely, girl. You hitting the nail on the head. Absolutely.
Now, I want to ask you, what top three qualities would you say artists need to really excel at that craft in the industry? Top three, if you can kind of narrow down.
Mm. Okay. These are the top three, but these three are in no particular order.
Okay.
All right. Punctuality,
Amen.
consistency, and discipline. All right. So I'll say, when it comes to punctuality, people, and not even just punctuality, dependability. People need to know that they can depend on you to be on time for a show, to be on time for rehearsal, to know your material before rehearsal, because rehearsal is not the time to learn it. It's the time to practice what you learned at home. And
Thank you.
it's so many people, band, musicians, singers, people, everybody. They don't, it's like they almost don't know that. And so I need to say it. So whoever is not familiar with that or needs a reminder, rehearsal is not for you to try to learn what you need to play. Rehearsal is the time to practice with everyone else, what all of you all learned individually when you was in your home by yourself at home. And so that has always been one of my things where I knew that when I became a band leader or musical director, I was gonna always look for that, because I know everybody's parts: bass, guitar, drums, keys. I know what I'm supposed to be singing, what I'm supposed to be doing. So that means if you just gotta know your part, then there should be no excuse. If I know everybody's part and I come to rehearsal, then you should at least know your one part. So punctuality, dependability, there we go. Consistency, I would say, no matter if it is 100,000 people in the audience, 100 or 10, every show should be like Madison Square Garden. You do not know who is in the audience. It could be L.A. Reid, or it could just be a family by the last name of the Reeds. It could be anything. And so you need to give yourself 100% every time, because there have been instances as recently as like a couple months ago here where it wasn't a huge crowd, but it was a nice crowd, and the gentleman that was in the crowd was somebody that I would have wanted to see me really kill it. And that person today is already like, hey, I'm on it. I'm making calls for you. What's going on? You like, I'm on your team now. Imagine if I would have slacked off and just did the bare minimum because, it wasn't a lot of people. So I say that, be consistent. It doesn't matter. Treat every show as if it's a whole bunch of people in the audience. And then my third one, what was my third one I said? I said dependability, consistency, and what?
Discipline.
Before you get on anybody's stage, the show don't start when the show starts. The show starts at 5 and 6 in the morning when you need to be up at the gym, getting your stamina together so that when you're on stage, you ain't falling out. And I say that because I was on stage at one point ready to fall out because I wasn't together in my stamina. Now, the pandemic is hit. I've been eating a little bit more, so I'm saying, so I'm not where I need to be, but I'm at the gym every single day. And so I'm a lot better than what I could have been. So discipline, the show don't start at 8 o'clock when the show starts. The show starts in the morning time when it's time to get up and you want to roll over, but it's gotta go to the gym. It doesn't start when, you're putting on your costume. It starts when you see your snacks and you're like, could I have cookies and cake? Or do I want to look my best and feel my best? It doesn't start when, when you're literally on stage. It starts when you're having to learn music, so you're not using lyrics on your phone or on a stand. Like being able to give your best show, you need to be able to be comfortable. And comfortable is knowing, I know these lyrics, I know this note, I know this song, I know what key I need to sing in, I know my moves. So the discipline to every day do something that has something to do with your craft, so that when the showtime comes or the opportunities come, you're not sitting there looking crazy because you're like, oh, I already been kicking it in gear. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Oh,
so those are.
I'm just gonna let you know right now. I am going to chop this up because I don't know if you know, I wrote a book called The 12 Band Commandments.
Yes, I absolutely do. I loved it.
Thank you. One of the band commandments is, I got the 12 band commandments and then I have the 12 ghetto fabulous band commandments. Mm-hmm. They're in the same book. And one of the ghetto fabulous is thou shalt know your song lyrics. I mean, at the end of the day, this isn't a guessing game. This isn't a talk show where it's like, guess what the next word is. This is the show. This is what you're being paid to do. Yep. I'm going to say this. I'm going to put myself out there because why? I'm an example. Ladies and gentlemen, I was performing with Victoria. I think it was, was it, she got a body like an hourglass. I think it was that, no. I think it was Side to Side. And that rap part was inside the side, and all day long, I like to freestyle. All day long, I like to be, hey, guess who's coming to town? Phoenix, this is me and my part. I looked at Vicky and I was like, look, I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna ad lib, my little part right here. She was like, mm-mm. And I was like, damn, like, number one, first of all, at the end of the day, listen, people don't know your fucking part. Like people don't know what you ad lib and they can't sing along with you. You're doing a cover song and you're doing it with somebody else. So you need to follow the protocol. And she looked at me like, that's all right, I got it. Like, I wanted to help, but I didn't know the song. I was expecting to just, all right, I know it's an 8 bar. That's all I know. So I'm gonna come up there and I'm gonna freestyle for 8 bars. But she wasn't afraid to be like, guess what, sis?
Girl, let me save us both. I don't think we got that kind of band leader, and this ain't the type of crowd. I got you. Don't worry about it.
Right. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, you know what? She's like, no. Like, no. Because one, we're performing for the crowd. It ain't for us. This ain't the Phoenix and Victoria show. This is cover band. So cover. And I was like, you know what? She's right. Like, at the end of the day, you need to know. You need to know because that's how they're connecting with you. They don't know you personally. They don't give a shit about you personally. They're connecting with you because you're singing some of their favorite hits, songs that other artists have made famous, and you're doing a hell of a job performing them. But if you're all in your zone trying to sell yourself, first of all, can't nobody join in because they don't know what the hell you're talking about. Second of all, it ain't the Phoenix Nobel band. And that was one of the, I respected that because it's something I would do. Like, I mean, it's something I would do if, say, for instance, an instrumentalist is back there and he playing Hotel California solo and he's just all over, all kinds of just him. That's not, there's certain parts of the song that people want to be able to vibe with you, vibe out on. And if you're constantly doing something else, look, I'm the queen of doing something else. But sometimes you need to connect with the people. You got to remember to connect with people. And so, again, I'm going to take some of these clips because there is some lessons that even some of us seasoned individuals need.
You remember.
Even when you said the stamina.
Yeah.
Listen, I used to have to be in the gym after work because it's like, I don't care what you look like. You can just naturally have a high metabolism and people assume that your ass is fit. Get there and sweat and try to do some choreography, and then your song is next.
Next, yeah, and right after, and you still got 5, 6 more songs and 2 more sets. What?
I mean, and you gotta socialize, and you gotta smile and still look cool, look good.
Oh my gosh, girl!
It's a whole job. It's a whole
5 to 6 nights a week. So you're doing this every night in the morning, the wee hours of the morning.
Look.
You can't afford to not be on the treadmill. Listen.
It comes with the territory. I mean, you're gonna be up there anyway, but and then people taking video. They don't give a shit about whether you're ready or not.
You better take that down. It don't look good. No. No.
Please. Hey, can I? No. They're coming to enjoy themselves. And
they gonna tag you, so you can't not. So listen, you got to be on it.
Listen, I am absolutely on board with your points, with your idea, and with your 3 qualities because it's something that I had to learn myself the hard way. It's not easy. You're not up there for 5 minutes. Your makeup runs. Sometimes you got a booger in your nose. Sometimes your hair is doing something. Your wig could fall off. Your wardrobe malfunction. And you still have to be on. You still have to give it your all. You can't say, oh, wait a minute, let's start that again. And put that aside. Life happens. You lose a loved one or something goes on. The show has to continue.
Before the show, I was finding 3 people passing in like 3 months back to back to back right before my next song. Oh yeah.
Listen, I've been on stage with I've lost people where I had to actually just leave the stage for a minute. But I've also seen other artists. It's like, hey, in that moment, of course, we have to be, we want to be empathetic towards each other. But the people in the audience
don't know and don't care.
Yeah, it's like, hey, it's Friday. I worked the whole week, and I'm coming to this venue because I love the way that you guys make me forget about my normal life. So you don't have the luxury of being like, hey, can you give me a minute? No, because this can determine whether or not they're actually going to feel like coming back next week and giving you their patronage.
Mm-hmm.
So I have one more question for you. And before I ask that question, I want to say, Vicky, thank you so much for taking the time out of your life to come and do this interview with me. I mean, I don't know why I didn't interview. I don't think I had a good quality camera or something, but we could have did this. But I feel like I could
We'll talk about that.
have. But thank you for just, I mean, maybe you just needed to be in this part of your journey for us to actually, do,
Right.
and me too. But I appreciate you. I appreciate your wisdom. I appreciate your talent, and I look forward to hearing your next album and all your singles and continuously being like, yo,
Thank you for having me.
absolutely. So my last question is, it's two questions. I have, what advice does someone give you about being an artist or being in the industry that has impacted you? But I also want to attach to that, after you answer what advice somebody has given you that to this day you feel resonates with you, what advice would you give to other artists that are watching us, that are looking at the state of things and maybe younger than us and kind of thinking, how do I get started? What do I do? Where should I go? What advice do I need to actually get me to execute on my dreams? So first start with what somebody told you and then go into what advice you have for other artists coming up now.
Well, my answer is the same for both. So I'll tie it in because the advice was so good. I need to go ahead and tell it again to somebody else. So I'll preface it by saying that, it's a million, billion, trillion talented people in this world. And so you're gonna have to find something that makes you stand out. If you're gonna have any success, you just want to have something that puts you apart. But overall, there's so many talented people in the world, but I was told a long time ago by my parents and different people, but my mama mostly, that it is, I can't even think of the phrase right now, but basically, it's best to be kind to people, to have character and integrity, because you can be talented all day, but if you are a nasty person, if you are mean, if you are rude, if you are inappropriate, if you are, uncouth, if you can't read the room, if you are problematic, you are not, I don't care how talented you are, how fine you are, how wealthy your family is, no one is going to want to hire you, so it's good to be talented, but it's even better to be kind, because being kind will get you in the door that talent can't get you. You can probably sing great, but what's your energy like? What's your attitude like? Are you going to be the diva or the divo? Are you not going to be a team player? Are you going to have an attitude because you have to come into rehearsal, and then you don't know yourself anyway? Like, no. So basically you can be talented, work on the talent, but also make sure your heart is good. Make sure your energy, make sure your attitude is good, because that will keep you in the door where your talent will get you in there, but your character will keep you. So that's the saying. Your talent will get you in the door, but your character will keep you there. So yeah.
I think that's the best I've heard when I've asked that question, because everybody usually focuses on the talent or be confident or, be original, or they say something that's more of a quality that doesn't really show the character inside. And I feel like that's like when I first read that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I was completely shocked at the fact that he kind of basically took the same approach that you just now took, where it was like, hey, genuinely care about people, because if you genuinely care about them, they're going to feel it, and they're going to want to do business with you, and they're going to want to have you around. And unfortunately, everybody is trying to sell themselves in such a competitive place, and we all want to make it, and we all want to be, we want to stand out. And a lot of us start from that place of, well, how can I be better than? Opposed
Mm-hmm.
to how can I build you up?
How can
How,
I be of service? Can I
how can
help?
I be of service? How can I make, and I'm gonna tell you, it's like, I believe I'm a good person. I believe that my actions show that. But
Mm-hmm.
I remember towards kind of like the end of me performing, if you will, overseas, I started to become a little bitter because I wasn't really where I wanted to be. I had a goal of, okay, by the time I'm 30, but I was like still doing that. And you can get caught up in those bouncing from gig to gig to gig, and then money is on the table. And it's like, well, more money. Well, I'm spending, I just spent all this money, so I got to stay over here. And if the gigs, until the gigs dry up, I'm going to be here doing it. But what happens is that how you really feel about yourself subconsciously rears its head, even if you don't say anything, even if you're just like, hi, the way you look, the way your energy is, the way people perceive you on stage, you can't hide that. You can't fake your energy.
What's in you will come out
All
one way or another.
one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I advocate being like following your bliss. Like, look, what will make you happy? What do you really want to do? Because as long as you're not doing what you really want to do, or as long as you're on the path saying, I want to, but
Mm-hmm.
you are doing a disservice to everybody you encounter as well as yourself. Because they can't really get they can't get your light. They can't get the love. They can't feel it. And it's unfortunate because that's how we are. We're alive. We're energetic beings, and we feed each other whether we know it or not. Like your energy right now, you're feeding me. That's what and so as performing artists, as artists who share our, there's a singers, this an ability that we have to move people. You can do it with spoken word, but when you sing, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? There's just a power that we have, and some of us don't.
Mm-hmm.
You bring people
Mm-hmm.
to tears. You can make people get like, there's just, we are so blessed and following bliss, right? Like we're taking it to, the reason why it's good to follow our bliss and to follow our passion is because we inspire something inside of other people to do the same or to get to their next level. So,
Yeah.
number one, you should do that because it's you being a part of the chain of events, as well as,
A domino effect of other people being inspired to make the world a better place. Because if they're happy because they're going after their dreams, it'll be a lot less violence, a lot less racism, a
yeah,
lot less
yeah,
misogyny. You are focused on your thing and you're doing something that makes you happy. So in turn, you're happier and nicer to other people. And it just is a domino effect. Like instead of being 6 feet apart, distancing in that sense, touching someone else with kindness, touching someone else being inspiring is going to help the world. But if you, it just starts with you. It starts with you.
you put that so eloquently, and you tied it together the way I was trying to. When
Okay. Because we are sisters, we connected. Listen, and I'm feeding off of you, you're feeding off of me. We're
we
inspiring each other.
That's right. That's right. Vicky, I am absolutely honored that we had a chance to reconnect. This is the first time that we actually, no, we've chatted, but
Mm-hmm.
the first time we actually, because I have,
Oh,
I don't know how many of you know this, but I was diagnosed with lupus, and I had a very bad flare up when I was in Morocco. I know you remember this.
I remember, yes.
And it actually was down my neck into my back, and I was like, I can't. And so I'm not sure if it was you or me who suggested ginger, but I asked Vicky to.
I just remember wiping ginger on my sister, trying to make sure we was good. I remember.
I don't know what caused the flare up, probably because I was not happy.
There could have been a number of reasons. Uh-huh.
Absolutely. I was not. I wanted to be in Thailand. My body, my physical body was in Morocco. My mind was somewhere else. And I believe that there is a very strong connection between the mind and body. And
Absolutely.
Vicky she took time out of her day to come and just put this amazing herb on my neck and my back. And to this day, it's just those moments. There is nothing for her to gain to do that. There was no reason why she had to say yes. It had nothing to do with us being artists. It had everything to do with her character, everything to do with her saying, hey, you know what? Shit, yes, I can help. So I will help. And I know I said thank you so much then, but I want to say it again. I appreciate you. I appreciate your life. Seriously, I appreciate you. I appreciate your journey. And I'm grateful for you to be the kind of human being you are outside of the impeccable talent that you have. I I can't wait to share this with the world. I'm going to edit and just put all your social media in so that you guys can see how to follow Victoria's journey, how to, like and subscribe to her channels and her social media, and get to know a little bit more about her that she, hasn't revealed here, and to check out some of her original music. So thank you again, Vicky, for your time. I look forward to chatting with you again and again and again. And
Yes.
my soul sister, from one soul sister to another queen. I love you. And yeah.
Thank you so much for having me on your wonderful platform. I'm so proud of you. Y'all go get her books, go get her art, go get her music, book her. Yes. Thank you, girl. Bye, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Musicians on Gigs. That is Miss Vicky V, and we will see you guys later. Peace.